Hi everyone, thanks for coming back. We have a doozy of a letter for you today. Now this one is a little longer than what we're used to, but hang with me. Let's try to knock it out and see if we can help these folks get themselves together. This one is coming to us from Deborah S. in Houston, Texas. Hey Houston, H-Town. Deborah says, Doc, I feel like I'm between a rock and a hard place. I am a 40-year-old professional. I have been married for 10 years to a great guy, and we have an 8-year-old son together. My husband and I get along pretty well and rarely argue. But 4 months ago, we had the biggest disagreement of our lives together. See, about 4.5 months ago, I found out that my best friend, who I've known since I was 14 years old, is cheating on her husband. She and her husband have been married for 15 years and have 3 kids ranging from 15 to 10. They've always had a rocky marriage, but have always stayed together. Well, she called me and asked me to cover for her if her husband called. She heard me off the phone before I could get the rest of the story. When I spoke to her the next day, she told me the whole story. In a nutshell, like out of a movie, she fell for a strong, handsome, intelligent man at work and has been messing around with him for a few months. I told her that I don't want no parts of it and don't put me in the position to lie to her husband, who I've grown to love like a brother through the course of their marriage. She said okay, so I thought we had an understanding. Well, the next weekend, she called and asked me to babysit her kids while she went out. Even though she wasn't trying to have me lie to her husband this time, it felt icky because I would be helping her out so that she could have an early evening rendezvous. My husband innocently thought that she and her husband were going out together, hence our watching their kids. So when he asked, where are they going? I decided to tell him the truth. Now he's ticked off at her for putting me in this mess, and he's mad at me for agreeing to do anything that would make it easy for her. Now he doesn't want me to have anything to do with her. He feels that it disrespects our marriage for me to be around her mess and that birds of a feather flock together. He doesn't think I'm cheating on him, but says that people get sucked into lifestyles. He doesn't want me to have anything to do with her. He has even threatened to tell her husband man to man. But I love her like a sister. I can't just cut her off. I don't want to be forced to choose between her and my husband. I know that my husband isn't going to leave me because of this, but it could have him questioning my morals and putting distance between us. Who's right, him or me? Woo! I told you this was going to be a long one. Thanks for hanging in there with me. All right, Deborah. Thanks for your question. Now here's my 2 cents. It's a couple of things I want you to ask yourself. Not me, but yourself. The first thing I want you to ask yourself is there anything that's worth jeopardizing what you've built over the last 10 years with your husband? Why would you even allow for this situation to potentially drive a wedge between what you've built? Why is this so important for you to protect? The second thing I want you to ask yourself is, what is your definition of a friend? I understand that you guys have known each other for the majority of your lives and for the totality of your adult lives. But would a friend put you in this position? Would a friend drag you into her mess and cause discord into your home? How do you define friend, Deborah? Because I don't have friendships like that. The last thing I want to ask you, Deborah, is if your husband's best friend was cheating around with the secretary at his job, and your husband was covering up and making excuses for him, would you be cool with that? Would you say, yeah, baby, go on and take care of that for him? Let him do X, Y, and Z. Or would you begin to question, honey, why are you so cool with how he's playing around on his wife? I bet if the shoe was on the other foot, you would begin to question your husband's morals as he's questioning yours. And you would raise an eyebrow if you thought for a second that your husband would choose his friend over you or even entertain the question. So, Deborah, I think rather than focusing on your friend, her conflictual and jacked up marriage, and this new boo that she has, I think you need to turn your attention to yourself. What's going on with you, Deborah? Please don't say you're getting a 10-year itch and living vicariously through her. Take care of you, take care of yours, and leave that mess on the side. I'm sorry, I got to side with your husband on this. But that's just my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. And if any of you who are watching have a question that you want Doc Erica to chime in on, feel free to hit me up on the email address below, and I'll be sure to read your letter on air. Until then, remember, therapy matters.